The British Superbike Championship moves to Scotland for round 8 of the series. He's dominant on a Ducati, but how long will Hodgson stay in British racing? Steve Hislop at Knock Hill, bruised and battered after Brands. And it's another of Scotland's finest who's happy with his first pole of the year. When it rains, everyone earns their money. Your mission, Jim, should you choose to accept it, is to wipe out the opposition. No one rides harder than Walker. He makes Hodgson nervous and the fans wild. And there were plenty of them at Knock Hill. Record crowds were expected, and despite less than perfect weather, everyone was having a good time. Well, it is Knock Hill. Neil Mackenzie was pretty happy though. Rain or shine, he was quickest in qualifying. Neil Hodgson has proved he can beat the best in the world. He may only be 26, but he's a veteran of Grand Prix and World Superbike and is now emerging as the complete racer. But a big practice crash this week reminded him of what can still go wrong. You join us on top of the GSE INS Ducati camp, and of course they are on top of British Superbikes, and this man, Neil Hodgson, has done an absolutely stunning job. Neil, where have you found your form this year?
I've no idea. I mean, a lot of people have asked me that question, and I've sat and thought about it, and there's not sort of one thing that I've changed. I think it's just lots of small things really. I've found my confidence, like I keep saying. I'm sure everybody's getting bored of hearing that, but I have, and thankfully it's going well. You know, I don't really know what to say. It's every week I seem to surprise myself. I'm sure I'm surprising everybody else, but I'm surprising myself.
Are you bored with the media keep on saying no more Mr. Nice Guy and all this old business?
No, it's obviously it's a bit of a cheesy slogan. That's nothing to do with me. I think blame Roger Burnett for that one, but no, not really. You know, I'm happy because I'm getting the results. So I think if I wasn't getting the results and people were going around saying no more Mr. Nice Guy, then I'd feel quite embarrassed. But you know, the results are backing up the statement.
Do you feel under pressure? I mean, you've come here to Knock Hill and already you've been up the road and finding a bit of a struggle around this short little track.
Yeah, it's totally different to Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch went really well, and then you come here and it's a total different circuit, and it's difficult, you know, and it's easy to forget how difficult it is British Championship racing. You know, it's easy to get above your station and think, oh, I should be a second faster than everybody. But that's not the case. At the moment I'm fourth, and you know, it's hard, and I'm trying hard, and you know, we're working hard as a team, and hopefully we can, you know, put that right.
Well, success brings its problems, and the man that's got to stand in there and sort most of them out. Darryl Healy, you have made it absolutely clear that you want to go to World Superbikes. Along with Neil here, you've really achieved a tremendous amount this year. Is it on for next year?
Well, I'd like to think it is, Keith. It all comes down, unfortunately, to pounds, shillings and pence, and we're really waiting to see whether our sponsors are going to take us into the World Championship next year. Hopefully we'll have some positive news this coming week.
Have you been surprised at the momentum of the team?
Well, not really, no. I mean, it was a fabulous year last year with Neil and Troy. So, you know, we won the British Championship, the Manufacturers Championship, and the Sponsors Championship, and it's just really been just progressed from there, really. So, no.
Okay, assuming you get the money that you need to go forward, you get the backing from Ducati that you need to go forward into World Superbikes. Are you going with this guy?
Well, I'd like to, yeah, sure. We've actually already, fortunately, signed a letter of intent with Neil prior to Brands Hatch, which was good news for us because we want a lot more money now, I guess. But no, I mean, subject to getting everything agreed, then Neil will be riding for us next year, yeah.
Neil, you feel very at home with GSE, don't you? It's been a team that's worked very, very well for you. Would you move if you had to?
No, I am happy here. Like I've said, week in, week out. Darryl's been great. Colin Wright's been great. The whole team, the mechanics are superb.
Shall I get the bucket now?
Yeah. No, I know, but you know, it's genuine. It's from my heart. It's a great atmosphere in the garage. With no problems, there's no egos, including mine. And yeah, hopefully we can go to World Championships and we can continue the momentum. And you know, we've dipped our toe in the water and it went well, and there's no reason why we can't do that week in, week out, you know, abroad.
It's ridiculous how long you've been around at World Championship level. You drop back to British Championship to re-establish yourself. Your plan certainly has worked, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was surprising. A lot of people thought, I think even my dad said, well, I think you're doing the wrong thing going back to British Championship racing. I think he thought, that'd be it I'd be a British Championship rider for the rest of my life, which wouldn't be a bad thing anyway. But no, thankfully I've found one of the form, and I made the right decision to come to JC Racing, and it's gone from strength to strength.
One man no one thought they'd see riding at Knock Hill was Steve Hislop. The Virgin Mobile Yamaha #1 was desperate to race in front of his home fans, and the media coverage of Steve's return could mean record crowds north of the border.
Well, we all held our breath the other weekend at Brands Hatch when we saw one of the most horrific crashes of the season. Unbelievably and thankfully, this guy walked away. Unbelievably that you didn't have any serious injuries.
I know, I've gained more publicity out of one crash as my whole career achievements. It's just been an incredible week with the press and everybody, but I was lucky, I look back on it and I could have been pretty easily paralysed or killed, and to get up and get away from it was just incredible. I've had a hard week trying to look forward to coming to Knock Hill, which is probably my home circuit really, and I feel within myself I feel quite good, but I've just got like a weakness in my arm muscle, and this sadly is one of the most physical tracks in the UK, and I am just struggling. I gave it a final try there in qualifying, but I think I'm just going to have to pull the plug.
Obviously it must be hugely frustrating for you because you are on great form at the moment. Yeah. Obviously you missed Knock Hill last year, but rest and recuperation for the next round is obviously the priority.
Yeah, Cadwell's only 2 weeks away, and I really need to try and get some strength in this muscle, and the only thing is rest. It's stretched it and it needs to tighten up. It's as if you've overworked it in a gym, so I just hopefully a week will bring it back to life.
You're looking back up towards the Knock Hill start line, and turn 1 is the infamous Duffus Dip. You approach it at over 150 miles an hour, and this has got the attention of the top riders. But it's here at Taylor's Hairpin where the last lap action is likely to be most frantic. Bottom gear climbing up the hill onto the start and finish straight. It's Highside City. First though, let's take a look at qualifying. Neil Mackenzie's hit form over the last few rounds. He's a proud Scot, so no surprise he saved his best qualifying of the year to grab pole at Knock Hill. But has local knowledge helped him beat the rest? Well, it's been said that Knock Hill has its own weather system high above the hill here, but Neil Mackenzie has got it all sorted out pretty well. Neil, if the sheep are high, it's going to be sunny. If the cows come down low, it's going to be raining.
Well, yeah, Knock Hill is a special racetrack, but it's only the local riders that really know the system. But yeah, basically, if the weather's fair, then the sheep are at the top of the hill, and as they start to creep down, even though you can't see any clouds, they know that the rain's coming. And I see there's some cows on the hill today, so that's something else a bit special that I can't really tell you about. But it's been a strange weekend this weekend because the sheep have been right at the top of the hill all weekend. The main reason for that is because they know Neil Hodgson's here, so they've been a bit nervous, but they're coming down now, so I think they're relaxing a bit.
Allegedly. James Hayden pulled out of the World Superbike round at Brands due to a neck injury. This week, he was a pain in the neck to the competition. He's qualified third on the grid, but the Reve Red Bull Ducati man still has big problems.
I'm fine for sort of 5-10 laps, but we've got to do 28 laps, and as you say, it's very, very physical. I'm hoping that to get out there and start mixing it with them, I'm not going to feel the pain so much, and because I'm going to have other things to concentrate on. If that's the case, hopefully we can be able to stick it out and get there at the finish. If it's not and it's becoming dangerous, or I just can't do it, then I'll just have to pull in and write it off and see if we can be ready for Cadwell.
James Toseland's still out with injury, so Paul Bird cast his net to the USA for a replacement. I can only guess what Tom Kipp's first impressions of Knock Hill were, but he liked the bike. Privateer John Crockford once again proved he's the man to beat. A superb second row position left 6 worked machines behind him. Maybe that's why he's grinning.
Well, John, that was a really good qualifying session for you. You certainly made up some time from the first one, didn't you? You're back on bike number 1 out there.
Yeah, that's right. We had a bit of an electrical problem with number 1 in the first one, so the time we did on the first wasn't what we were capable of. Yeah, luckily we kept our fingers crossed for the weather, and luckily it stayed dry. Back on